All right, so a few things here. Tonight, Rockets-Warriors, Game 5. Ducks-Blackhawks, Game 6. Rangers beat the Lightning last night to force a Game 7 on Friday night. I'm sure Fritzy will have great seats. We'll get to more of your phone calls coming up. Also saw this story. Overnight, FIFA officials arrested. Man, it got serious last night. I don't know what any of it means, and that's why we bring in Matt Slater from the BBC, who joins us. Matt, what happened overnight to FIFA?
Well, first of all, how are you all, chaps? Good to hear from you.
Good to hear from you, Matt.
Yeah, excellent. Well, what happened overnight? Very, very complicated, so I'm going to make it really simple. You guys arrived. The feds arrived. Men with badges and guns arrived. And for the last 30 years, us Europeans have been pussyfooting around this festering cesspit of a sporting organisation called FIFA, allowing them to defraud the world's beautiful game, the world's most popular sport, allowing these complete bozos, these no-name mediocrities to make millions off the back of a sport that the rest of the world, and I think you guys increasingly, are beginning to love. So what happened? A load of these bad guys, I won't list their names, have finally been arrested to do with wiretaps, to do with a big whistleblower. The FBI got onto him early, and just like the mafia, he's coughed up. He's put them all in it. So this morning we had the hilarious scenes of this unbelievably posh hotel in Zurich, where all these horrible, horrible men gather for a big meeting where they were going to basically have a coronation of this guy, Sepp Blatter, who runs football and has presided over this entire mess. That happens on Friday, or will it? We don't know yet. But anyway, Swiss police turned up on behalf of the Department of Justice, your guys with the badges, and arrested 9 of them and marched them out of the hotel very, very early this morning. I think some of them were very bewildered and confused. They barely had time to pack. And they're going to be extradited. This is wonderful. This is what many of us that love the sport have been waiting for. So that's what happened.
But
thank you. Really, honestly, thank you.
Matt, is this about bribery to get the World Cups in Russia and Qatar?
It's about all of it. It's definitely about that. I mean, later on today, we've learned that there's a second investigation being done by the Swiss, who I think have really been sort of kicked into this by the American action, first of all, which is specifically into how those two very strange decisions, one in particular, appalling decision, the 2022 World Cup to a small town in the desert, Qatar, was made. So that's what's going on. But the American investigation is really about good old-fashioned corruption. It's about how marketing contracts, broadcasting contracts, you name it, has been dealt with in your side of the world, in the Americas, mainly sort of Central America and North America, how those contracts have been dished out for the last 24 years. And we're talking about corruption here of at least $150 million. 47 counts, I think, were announced this morning. 14 people named. I think 2 organisations as well, two companies that deal in these rights. Some of them have already pled guilty, so I think there's a little bit of he made me do it going on. So this could go even higher. It's great news. It really is great news.
Well, it hasn't gone all the way up to the president, Sepp Blatter, will it?
Good question. And that's the question we're all sitting over here asking ourselves. For me, this is just like Goodfellas, Sopranos, you name it. I mean, to get the guy at the top, first of all, they never use telephones. They're terrified of helicopters. They only talk in public with their hands over their mouths. It's like that. For example, I've heard wonderful stories about how they only deal in euros, not dollars, because dollars attracts the attention, again, of the FBI and big, powerful law enforcement agencies from the US. Will it get here? Will it get to Sepp, the big man at the top? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. He's managed to roll with the punches so far, but I do know it's getting closer.
Is there going to be a revote on the World Cup?
You're asking all the right questions. There was a big press conference this morning, which for lovers of these things was an absolutely priceless example. I don't know if you know the film Casablanca with Captain Renault, who famously comes out and says, "Gambling? There's gambling going on here." I'm shocked as the waiter comes along and gives him his winnings. It was like that. The poor man whose job it is to front up for FIFA. So it was sort of trying to crack gags about, look, if I knew this was happening, I'd have gone to bed earlier. But trying to tell us all this was a great day for FIFA. This was helping them clean up the sport, and that Sepp Blatter was relaxed, not dancing around his office, but he's quite happy. Are they going to do a revote? He said no. Are they going to postpone the election, stroke coronation of Sepp Blatter? He said no. Listening to him, it's business as usual. You genuinely think this wasn't a bad day for the sport. It's remarkable. They are in not just a bubble, beyond a bubble. I mean, they are so deluded. They are so far removed. They're so shameless that I don't know what will stop them.
So the U.S. is viewed how in this worldwide?
Well, right now, there's an awful lot of people in this country, and I'd imagine a few other countries in Europe, which have been asking for reform, trying to get rid of this guy, trying to sort of raise serious questions, but perhaps not doing it forcefully enough, and perhaps not doing it with the real conviction that was required. A lot of people over here are saying, well done. Thank God. This is what we needed. This is how you took down Lance Armstrong. This is how you get things done.
Well,
you take it away from the sports, mealy-mouthed approach. We're going to police ourselves. This isn't golf. We're talking about corruption here. Sometimes you need guys that will go in and seize computers.
Is this the greatest moment in USA soccer history?
I tweeted that this morning.
Oh, you did?
I was expecting more of a debate about it, that someone would wisely come back with Alexi Lalas scoring a goal against England, or I don't know, something like that. But no, I'm struggling to think of a better moment for US soccer. Well done, guys. I want to say that again. We are very grateful.
Thank you, Matt. Good to talk to you.
And you.
All right, that's Matt Slater, BBC reporter.